Hi guys, this is Mera. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at a really exciting new device called the BS Morphe. Yeah, I think whether you make drum and bass and you want to cut up your bass lines and resample them with lots of interesting modulation, or if you're making dub techno and you want lots of variations of your dub chords and you want like really quick and instant results, then this is an awesome device. In this video I'm going to be taking a deep look at how I use it, and I'm super excited about this. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let's go. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you a really cool device I got from a company called BS Audio Tools, and this is a Max for Live device called BS Morphe. So what it does basically, if you have an instrument rack, so if you press Ctrl G on your instruments in Ableton, it creates what's known as an instrument rack, right? You can then assign parameters to each of these macros and modulate them, right? So we could assign like the decay and the release of the amp envelope, for instance. Throw BS Morphe in there, and what you do is you hit map, hit the top of the instrument rack. Now BS Morphe is mapped to this instrument rack. If we hit random all, it creates a different wave shape for each macro. So macro 1, the attack, has this shape, macro 2, this one, and macro 3, right? So if we for instance, I'll just put in a little random sequence there. Right, so now if we got this position knob which scans through that modulation, right? You can come up, imagine if you've got like a whole bunch of audio effects and other parameters of the synth all mapped to macros, and you scan through there, you can come up with really fast results. So like loads of random modulations. So if you're working in the genre of dub techno or maybe drum and bass or something where you want to resample a sound and get loads of different edits of it, you do it really quickly with this device. So let's take a look a bit further at this. But firstly, I just wanted to say, if you guys are into dub tech and you'd like to learn more about it, perhaps see some more exclusive content, grab some Ableton live sets, grab some samples, and much more, you can get all that on my Patreon, which I'll link right here down in the comments. So let's make a dub chord right here. So I'll just go with a saw wave. I'll get a chord device and I'll just make a minor triad chord. And generally that's what you're working with in dub techno. What I'll do is I'll just put in a basic sequence here. Let's take a listen to that. Cool, right? So the next thing I'll do is play with the filter, right? And we could maybe map the decay of the filter envelope to macro 4, right? Now, quite importantly, you want to go into this map section, fine-tune your parameters, because like that filter envelope decay, I don't want it to get below around 400 milliseconds, right? And same for the amp envelope decay, I don't want it to get too tight. So let's try that. Also for the attack portion, I don't want it to get too long. I don't want it to get that long, so. So we're getting more musical there, right? Something else we could play with maybe is let's try putting, sorry, let me just assign the velocity to the filter envelope amount. It's something I always like to do with dub chords. And I just want to actually go back to map and just reduce the maximum length for the filter envelope decay. Say max about there. So then we come to the point of how do you want to move this position knob? You want to do it yourself, which could be great, or I think it could be cool to put an LFO on here. So what I'm going to do is grab one of Ableton's modulator, grab an LFO and just drop it on there. And I hit map and just map into the position here. It's going to reduce the depth a little bit. And I'm going to sync it, make it a bit slower. Cool, right? We could set it to like an odd timing, so we get different modulation every bar, right? Kind of like a polymeter, I guess. We can add some jitter to the modulation, and if you hit this, you can see the resulting lines of modulation. So without jitter, say if you wanted a bit of jitter just on one parameter, you can like mess with the percentage there. You can add some smoothing. Cool, right? So we're hit random all again, see what results we get. So I think I'll just keep adding effects to this patch. The first thing I'll go for is maybe an auto filter. Maybe we'll go for like a band pass. We'll add a LFO to this. Cool. I'm gonna put a delay on afterwards, right? So we could maybe map the filter frequency of the delay to macro 5. And again, I'm going to go into the map section. I'm just going to specify the ranges here. I don't want it to drop too low. Cool, right? So say if you you really liked the modulation for a particular parameter, say that delay, right? What was it? Parameter 5, right? Say if you really liked that, but you didn't like any of the others, what you can do is you hit this lock here, and then you can hit random all, and it will just lock that one, so it changes all the others. Right, so that's pretty cool. Let's keep adding effects to this patch. By the way, guys, I'm going to upload this patch to my Patreon when it's done, and you guys can go do your own research with it and take a look. The device here, BS Morphe, is actually a paid device. It's only about €7, so I'll put a link for that down in the description of this video. So let's add a distortion. I like to put a bit of overdrive on my dub chords, right? That's pretty cool. And let's map the filter frequency of that distortion to macro 6. You can see it's modulating really nicely there. Let's have a look at parameter 6 there. So if you just want to randomize that parameter, you can hit up here. Really nice. So I'm going to adjust that. Don't want it to go quite as low there. That's pretty nice. So we're getting a really nice bit of modulation from this already. As you can see, it's a super powerful device. I'm going to go for some reverb now. Go for my trusted large hall, which you guys know I use on basically every patch. So yeah, that's cool. I'm pretty happy with that, but what I want to show you now is how you can take this really far with this effect, right? So what I'm going to do is just record this into a audio track here. So I'm going to set the input to come from our rack here and just hit record. Cool. Let's go back and hit random all again. And I'm going to record again. So what we're doing is we're building up a bank of different flavored dub chords, which we'll then be able to chop between. A really good base for writing some music, basically. We got that one. I'm going to hit random all again. Hit record. And let's do it again. And I'll do it once more. Hit random all. Let's go back and look at that LFO, maybe change the rate. I'm going to unsync it. Yeah, that's nice. And let's hit it again. This time I'm going to add a bit of jitter. Hit random all again. Really nice. So we have a bunch of audio samples there of our dub chord. What I'm going to do is press shift and highlight all of them, right? I'm going to press shift and tab, and I'm going to go into the launch settings, right? And I'm going to enable follow action, and I'm going to unlink it, right? So that these are quite long samples, and if it's linked, I think it'll play right to the end of the sample. So if you hit unlinked, it will follow my command. Like, say if I tell it right here, I want it to change like every half a bar, I think that is, right? I'm going to say any for the follow action, right? And I'm going to hit legato, and I think that should do it. Let's hit play here. Yeah, so it's working out pretty good. So we're now chopping between those different modulations, right? But what we can do is copy our effect rack over from Copy all the effects over from our original dub chord onto here. Maybe transpose all of these. So if we highlight all of them, press Shift and Tab. I don't know what else. I want to... Yeah, sorry. Highlight all of them, press Shift and Tab, right? You can like transpose them. So I'm just going to put a limiter on the end because things are getting kind of a little bit quiet. Grab a limiter. I just want to reduce the dynamic range a little bit. Yeah, so we're starting to get into some nice sounds here. So what I'd like to do is just hit Control A, Control G. But we got another instrument rack and we can have some more fun with the BS macro morph again. So let's grab the BS macro morph. And let's go ahead and map a bunch of parameters to that macros. So maybe the envelope of the auto filter to macro 1. Maybe the dry wet of the delay. Could be good. Maybe the... let's change the timing on the delay. I'm going to map the width of the delay to macro 2. Let's change it to a ping pong delay. Nice, nice. And let's play with this distortion. Instead of an overdrive, I'm going to get a OTT. Just reduce the amount. But we can map, say, the crossover to macro 3. Let's have a look at this reverb, and this time I'm going to map the frequency of the input filter to macro 4. Let's go have a look at our BS macro morph here, and first thing is say map to the instrument rack, okay? And then hit random all. Then find some way to modulate. Good to do it by hand. Well, I'm going to grab another LFO because I just like to have it all synced up, and it just feels good to do that. So I'm going to hit map on the LFO and map it to the position here. But what I'm going to do is sync it again. Really nice. I'm happy with the results already. And what we could do is actually sample this again, right? Let's just try some jitter. Let's try some smoothing. If you hit this, you can see like the modulation of each of those lines, right? If you like to see pretty things like that, it's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is, what the heck, let's throw erosion on here. I want to get some erosion going. Let's throw it into the rack. And I'm going to map this to macro 5. Let's go and look at macro 5's modulation. I don't like it, so I'm going to hit randomly again. Reduce the depth. Let's have a look at the LFO and just change the rate. Slow it right down. We're getting a bunch of randomization with the launch triggers going, a whole bunch of different parameters getting modulated. So once again, like, this is a really powerful device. You can, whether you're working with drum and bass and you want to resample your neuro basses or dub techno, you just want a bunch of different dub chord variations to push your track along, this is the device to work with. I'm super excited about this. So let's sample this. I'm going to hit the input to come from this track and just record it out again. So later on what I'm going to do is throw this sample into a sampler, right? Just chop little bits out and make a simple beat, like a 4/4 kick to go underneath it, and just start building a groove, like taking different slices out of this sample, putting them into different samplers, pitching them about, playing with filters, choruses, panning, different reverbs, and just creating a nice, sparse and spacious kind of dub techno mix. If you'd like to see an example of that, you can head over to my Patreon, and I've got some exclusive content there showing you how you can do that, and a bunch of other stuff. I'd love to see you there. I'll link that right here and down in the comments, and you can go and download this set for yourselves. So yeah, cheers guys. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this technique and this device. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.